All right, welcome back. I think at the end of the last one, we had taken down a caravan, and I thought about going to check out some ruins. And let me double check where those were. I think it was these ruins right here. So let me place a beacon, and let's go check that out. So yeah, I think we took down the caravan and found that we found like a giant axe or some kind of great axe, and I think I talked about that being. I know in like Dark Souls 1, I know people sort of take that to the bank and found it worked very well for them. Again, for Dark Souls 1, I was always a Bastard Sword Claymore kind of girl because I just found the sweeping R1 attack to be a good, like, clear the room kind of thing. And then I think especially with the Claymore, the R2 had a really nice long reach. So now if I remember correctly, the Waypoint Ruins have a bit of a story going on. Let me get off my horse. And it's not, I might have this wrong, but let me see what's underneath, because if it's what I think it is, then we'll go from there. All right, so let's see if I'm right. Okay, we got a bit of a boss fight going on here. So I'll say what my guess is. I don't know if you remember, under one set of ruins over on the Weeping Peninsula, we found a mage in shackles. I thought there was something going on with this. So let's see if I have this completely wrong. I'm a little nervous that I burned some FP, so I gotta drink my potion. So now that I can get that prepped. Yeah, these things aren't too bad overall. I think we fought one of these in the Weeping Peninsula. Oop. I say as I take it right in the teeth. Now, I might not have any FP left in the tank to keep going with my Unsheath ability. I'll let the Headless sort of take some ranged. Nope. Again, it's okay getting hit. It's not the end of the world. And remember, I have not put any points into Vigor yet. Now I'm sure like the Samurai probably starts with a little bit of a boost. But having put no points into Vigor, as long as you have a good shield, you're good at dodging, I don't think you need a ton of Vigor off the top of to start the game off and explore for a while. If you're decent at the game, I feel like you can get away with Vigor being a later level improvement. Although, obviously the earlier levels are cheaper, so you can pump Vigor in quicker, but...
Tarnished, are we? I wonder you should turn up here. I am Selen, a sorcerer, quite plainly. Why are you here? A yen for glintstone.
To me, that's sort of the yes.
I dare say your proclivities are far from ideal. Oh well, perhaps nurture will defy nature.
I think she's calling me stupid because I haven't put any points into intelligence yet.
Masters wisely. I was exiled from the Academy of Rea Lucaria as a reviled, apostate witch. Do you still wish to learn from me?
So, again, the interesting bits of lore that they tease out. There's a magic academy. There are people who are considered like heretics of sorts. I always kind of dug that. Obviously, that's not her face. She's wearing sort of like a stone helmet of sorts, I guess.
Well, you are a piece of work. Very well. You are now my protege in glintstone sorcery. But I refuse to coddle or cast kind words. Never. Anticipate grievances, young apprentice.
I can't cast anything because I don't even have the basic intelligence of 10 to do it. Do I have... I could buy them, though, I guess. There's probably other things I could buy, like levels. I tend to sort of... So what I did in the PlayStation 5 is, eventually there's like some pretty good you know, farms for souls, some runes or whatever. And you're able to just rake in the dollars. And so I would go there and then just buy everything up.
Young apprentice. First things first. You are a tadpole when it comes to magic. Infantile. Without the legs to walk. So, to become a sorcerer, first, you must face your ignorance. Now, shall we start learning?
Still not going to buy. But it makes sense why there's a set of grades. Now, I in my head, for some reason, there's a connection between her and the one that's taken prisoner. I thought it was more explicit, but I'm going to keep pumping into dexterity, because again, I'm just trying to get to that outdated, made-up, incorrect soft cap to 40 that I'm carrying over from Dark Souls. 9 levels away. How am I doing on souls now? Okay. So we've got that unlocked. Again, I thought there's some connection. There's something up. Yeah, I think fire. I think I still have some fire arrows. I thought fire did a number on them, but anyway. God, I, again, still find this game quite beautiful. And now this is, you know, since I've started playing with certain updates, they've introduced ray tracing to this game. This is without ray tracing. This is just default. When I hit that horn, I'm failing miserably. There we go. Not sure who you would call. Yeah, just so you know, these respawn if you want to hit them again, but there's nothing to grab from the back. Once you get it, you get it. Anyway, this is without ray tracing. I'm running a GeForce 3080. The resolution is a little bit over 1080p. I downscale it for the stream to 1080p, but I have a 1440 monitor, so I go like sort of in between 1080p and 1440. Let's see what he has to say. I don't know if the 3080 could handle. I don't know what it would do to. I'm trying to keep it a lock 60. Hopefully, it makes it a little easier to view. Okay, so he's sort of. That's like one of the minor Erd trees, I think. You sort of see others. The main one, of course, is usually like a main fixture, sort of like the sun. So yeah, so now we know what is there, and we've actually made a pretty good dent in a lot of what's going on here on the starting area. You know, again, there's Stormvale Castle. If you want to, you can go around. For the time being, let's again, this is because, as I've talked about, you know, with I love open worlds because I love exploring. So for me, the idea of running into Stormvale Castle actually doesn't necessarily appeal. I'd rather see what's out there in the world before getting myself locked in. You know, like, what's going on here? Why is it, you know, suddenly bathed in red? You know, so what I'm going to do is maybe I'll start, like, you know, I haven't done up here either. I'm trying to think of other, you know, there's like a little lake here. I don't know if that necessarily means there's anything, you know, just potentially, are they ruins? Are they columns? Are they something else? Again, the artwork can matter. Like, is there something right in front of me? Let me see if I can see it down. But yeah, the idea, like, you know, imagine looking over the landscape of an Elder Scrolls and all the potential you start to imagine in your head. But then for me, pair that with what is sort of my favorite RPG gameplay of the Souls series, and this is just, no game comes close to this for me. And it's gonna really cripple getting through my backlog, but I would almost rather just repeat this adventure because this game offers me everything I'm looking for than, you know, start a new game, even though there's tons of games out there. Like I said, I haven't beaten Skyrim yet. I want to give the Pillars of Eternity game. I like turn-based combat when it's like that isometric view. So the second Pillars of Eternity brings, I think, turn-based combat to it, or the two Pathfinder games. Like, I'd love to try all these out, but there's just this comfort food aspect of this familiarity that, and like, there's no way to possibly remember every detail. Like, you know, I remember big things about it, but like, seeing some of this again is not quite seeing it for the first time, but it's not. It's not entirely, you know, again, maybe that's just because I'm old and decrepit, but you know, there's something to going back through these, because you can't possibly retain everything that's in these games.
Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth Height, servant to the True Order and celebrated repudiator of the false. Grant me succor.
So like, I don't remember this at all.
Hello? Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth Height, servant to the True Order and celebrated repudiator of the false. Oh, Erdtree, grant me succor.
Like, do I have to find this guy? Is he...
Hello? Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth Height, servant to the True Order and celebrated repudiator of the false. Oh, grant me succor. Hello? Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth Height.
So I have headphones on, so I'm trying to use positional audio a little bit to
Repudiator of the false.
get an idea of...
Erdtree, grant me succor.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what this guy is. I don't know if I'm...
Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth Height.
I feel like I'm getting...
Servant to the True Order and celebrated repudiator of the false. Oh, Erdtree, grant me succor. Hello?
I'm seeing like a message or something here.
Someone who might be interested
No, that's a
in
corpse.
rescuing the great Kenneth Height, servant to the True Order and celebrated repudiator of the false. Oh, Erdtree, grant me
Like, is he
succor.
above me on the bridge? I'll head up there in a second just to see if I can find something. I'm going to check this message here.
Hello?
Okay,
Is
so there...
anybody there?
Again, you know, one of the beauties of the Soul games.
Rescuing the great Kenneth Height, servant to the
Oh, there he is talking. You know, they put the... You know, the hint system, I just find
grant me
such a... such an innovation. I don't know if games had it before Demon Souls, but when I played in Demon Souls...
hello?
So, like, in all my plays of this, one full and a couple of partials, I've never run into this guy.
You come to lend me your aid, have you? Well, that's very kind, but no. The help is very much appreciated, even from a tarnished. Despite appearances, nobility is no prerequisite to serving.
I think this guy's calling me trash. I'm called stupid and trash.
Kenneth Height. Next in line is the rightful ruler of Limgrave, young Tarnished. I would have a boon of you. I want you to take back my fort. It lies to the south, beyond the Mistwood. A knight commander from Stormvale took it. A fool, and plumb mad to boot. Simply obsessed with blood.
So what he's talking about is the Castle Morn on Weeping Peninsula. Maybe that's why I've never talked to him. I don't know. But, you know, he's asking us to do something we've already done. So you can see, like, again, if you can stumble across in this wide open world, you can have these narrative threads start to tie together. But
Kiss goodbye. My fort lies to the south.
I think it's what he's talking about.
Take it back for me.
Oh, no. Maybe...
You wish to know the reward? Fret not. The great Kenneth Height is known for his considerable largesse. The celebrations will be lavish indeed upon the dawn of my fort's retrieval.
Maybe this is the Mistwood. Maybe he's talking about, Fort Height West. No, I'm sorry. He's talking about this, which might be up there on the hill. I'm not sure if I'm looking at the right one, but scratch all that. It's not Weeping Peninsula.
Yes. Now, allow me to furnish you with...
Again, you just burn through to make sure you've gotten all their dialogue.
Take great care to avoid Godric's tarnished hunts were I in your shoes. That depraved lot are obsessed with sacrificing tarnished like you for the sake of grafting. Honestly, Godric's nothing more than a jumped-up country bumpkin. Lord? Oh, don't make me laugh. First, he hid himself amongst the womenfolk to flee the capital, then hid from Radahn in that castle. Then he insulted Melania, lost to her in battle, only to lick her boots, rather than die like a man. Has he no shame? The big girl's blouse? And to think, he's the blood of Godfrey, last of the golden lineage. Though you almost wouldn't know it to look at him. Yeah, I almost feel sorry for the chap the more I think of it.
So, like in classic fantasy tropes, or not fantasy, literature tropes, you've got a failure and a disappointment of a son who is truly a failure. He's not like it's unfairly maligned. Who's the son of the king. Godfrey, I think, is like sort of one of the rulers of the whole land. And the person he's describing negatively, I think, is one of the rulers of Stormvale Castle, I believe.
What are you waiting for? My fort.
Okay, so we've exhausted all of his business. Again, I've never talked to him before. So I didn't know those narrative details about one of the bosses in Stormvale. And does it matter? Gameplay-wise, no, but, there's much like, in probably a lot of open world games, there's a lot more to them than probably. So again, we've got a, nice to get a cookbook. Got a gravesite, so I'm just gonna get all the golden runes. Free XP. Only takes a minute. I can actually... Okay, so I think I got them all. Let's figure out where we want to go. I feel like we're so close, I'm tempted to just take a look at the stuff here, maybe see if we can sneak over there. But my fear is that we can't really sneak over there unless we come up this road. And just, want to see if I can get some bonfires, some fast travel set up throughout the area so we can jump around a little quicker in the future. So I had a weird... I played... My first Elder Scrolls was Morrowind. And I tried it on the original Xbox. Really liked it in theory, but things about it were a little clunky. First of all, from a technical standpoint at release, I think it was to call it a mess is a strong word, but it had little things like, it was easy to have it run out of memory, things like that. So there's a lot of things you had to look out for that just Felt a little cumbersome. Also, it was a little weird, you know, given the mechanics of the game, it was weird that, you know, you would swing and miss because there were die rolls going on behind the actions. And I felt like, and so I didn't get it too far into that one, even though I genuinely liked, again, exploring the world, the setting. It was very unique. I didn't know what to expect from Elder Scrolls games because I never played earlier ones. Okay, another church, which is going to give us Sacred Tear, which is going to increase the power of our potions. Let's see what this is. Okay, I think we've gotten some tears before, but now we have the flask that actually lets us drink it. So maybe we can mix one up and see what we got. We've gotten some tears before. We've just never gotten the vessel to use them. I didn't know that was here either. Again, this is why I sort of like exploring without, you know, because you're sort of building up your character, getting the basic fundamental gameplay mechanics in place. Let's see what she has to say.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with you? Very well. In Marika's own words, my lord, and thy warriors, I divest each of thee of thy grace. With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between. Ye will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die. Well, perhaps that might serve you in lieu of a maiden's guidance.
Okay, so let's mix a flask. I'm not going to probably use it, but okay, restores half of total HP. That's not bad to have. Steadily restores over time. That's not bad. Strength, not a big deal for me. Negates magic's not bad either. So let's throw these two in there. I don't know. I don't know if we have anything to level up.
Turn your runes, let my hand rest upon. Share them with me.
No, okay. We're a bit a ways away from that. Okay, so this is part of what Bach does. I think, I don't know if this is because we've talked to him or because we have like a sewing kit. Oh no, I already altered him. All right. So we got that going on. Let me see how to... Yeah, let's see if we can get... Okay, so now we've got our... Let's get rid of this. Now we've got our Flask of Wondrous Physic around. We can use it to pop. Give us half HP. Give us some damage negation. That's not bad. And you're going to collect those much like you collect medallions throughout the game. Let me see where we're going. I'm trying to go the other direction. I don't know if that's actually possible from down here. I think it's going to cut off. Okay. Let's see if they're trying to tell us something. No. Interesting. This is something we have not run into yet either. Throughout the world, there are these... There you go. Magic butthole. Butthole jokes. For all the good that comes with the Souls games, butthole jokes is a staple of the series as well, given how you put together a message. But yeah, let's see where this takes us. Because I don't know, again, if I've... These are like teleporters. I don't know if I've ever seen this one. Which again is... Oh, so you know, again, I was talking about how... Oh, okay. It's way out there, right? I know what this place is. I won't get into it now. We don't want to fight that guy. He will beat us to death in a heartbeat. But it means we're sort of in the area I was hoping to get to, and we can maybe start making our way back west. Hopefully pop a couple of bonfires for our future fast travels. We'll pick up a golden seed up ahead for potential to start getting toward another flask. So as I was saying, my first exposure was Morrowind. The game I really was my first start to finish was Oblivion. And they fixed so many things that had tripped me up personally in Morrowind, but there were definitely some things that still felt wrong, like the way everything leveled with you, the way you sort of manipulated, like, don't level this, level that, to keep the way you sort of had to meta manage your levels was a little. So I respect that Skyrim, sort of worked some of that stuff out and made it a smoother experience. But I liked how Oblivion made it, probably to the heartbreak of hardcore fans, a little bit more. Let me reverse that. A little less hardcore, a little less dice mechanic-y kind of. You just, when you aim and shoot, you're not determining if you hit, you're just determining maybe the damage, whatever the randomness going on behind it. It felt more like, if you put your reticle on something and hit it, you hit it. But okay.
Forgive me. I've been testing you.
Plot twist.
To determine if the Elden Ring would truly have you. If you had the mettle to endure this long and arduous path. It seems my worries were unfounded. Torrent had your measure from the very start, whereas I merely pretended. There is but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take you to the Roundtable Hold, gathering place of tarnished champions, guided by grace.
I guess we're both just gonna have a pleasant small talk while staring down the ass barrel of a dragon down there on the bridge. I guess we're comfortable with that. So this was something, like, obviously I knew about the Roundtable Hold because it's sort of like your hub, and I didn't know what triggered it. I didn't remember what got me there in my previous play, so I've been constantly waiting for this to happen because there's a lot of things there that we need. We need, like a blacksmith to keep upgrading weapons. We need a way to upgrade, the headless ashes, stuff like that. So a lot of these stories all sort of revolve around a similar trope, which is like the player character is from some kind of unwashed class. In this game they call it the Tarnished. In other games, I forget what they call them in like Dark Souls, but the point is that pygmies, I forget what it was, but there's like, there's the gods, the dragons, the this, and then the, behind the knee rash people, which, are disgusting and they're hopeless. In this game, they're the Tarnished, and that's who we are. And one of the interesting, I don't know if I mentioned this, but like, when you first start the game and you come out from that starting tomb, there's the, the horse on a golden armor, golden horseback armor, whatever. And lore-wise, his whole purpose is anytime a Tarnished popped out of where we popped out of, he's supposed to kill him. And it's sort of like guard duty. Because I think in all these games, the trope exists that they know, yes, these people are trash people, but they're sort of the prophesized Luke Skywalker. And so we have to protect ourselves against them because they're the group that the prophecies tell of, the savior, the hero, the world ender, whatever, being born from. And so in a lot of games, they take precautions to make sure those people get stopped.
Oh, this is a rare occasion. I can't remember the last time a new Tarnished made their way to the round.
I don't remember who this guy is. I don't think I've ever seen him before.
As your you welcome. It is safe here. You may let down your guard.
Technically, that's false, and I'll show that to you in a sec.
Word of advice. You are a mere visitor to the Round Table. Nothing more. A house guest. Yet to earn their keep. Remember your place, newcomer.
All right, so I've been called stupid, a trash person, and now, like, I'm pledging a frat. I'm a bottom feeder.
There's nothing left to say.
Okay, I'm guessing that means we've burned. Okay. That person I don't recognize. This person I do recognize.
Oh, I see you've just arrived. Welcome to the Roundtable Hold. I'm Corin, a man of the cloth. I teach incantations, the strength granted us by the two fingers, and explore the secrets of the Golden Order, so that one day, if a tarnished of the Roundtable Hold should
Boom.
become
That's what they're talking about, why the horseback guy's there.
counsel them, ensuring order regains its proper form, righting rule over men. By the way, do you still see it? The guidance of grace.
That's the golden trails coming off bonfires.
You. Wonderful.
But again, that's what, in case the Tarnished becomes an Elden Lord, that's what a lot of the
You are
people in power want to shut down.
Well, what do you say? Care to learn an incantation of the two fingers?
As always, I say yes. I don't think I'm smart enough to learn anything, but these are like faith spells, I believe. And I think faith can be a pretty decent path for most of the game until you get to the end. But that's okay.
May the Golden Order shine through you.
So what I want to do first, before I forget, is this is where you come. I'll talk to all these guys in turn, but this is where you come to... That's the blacksmith. Is this person here yet? She is. Okay. There's a lot to explore here, but first let me see.
No matter. It's all the same. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing. I see you've noticed the chains.
Burn through his dialogue.
Nothing special. I'm a prisoner and these are my chains. I'm trapped by the hold. I'm dying, smithing for you fools. That's all there is to it. No, don't read too much into it. I've no grudge against you. My being a prisoner is no fault of yours. Besides, I don't mind smithing. Despite my differences, the weapons get stronger all the same. Even time. Technique never fails. Besides, it helps me forget. The sheer terror of her.
Okay, so I think I've blown through all that. So let's see if we can get our Uchikatana. That's it. Okay. Can we do anything else? Okay, this would also be a good thing to upgrade just because it's going to be a pretty good weapon down the road. Let me see if I've got... So one of the things I think would be fun, again, for the one person that watches this, who I promise is not my own mother in support of her Little League failure of a son. Sometimes I think, now that they've got Daggerfall Unity, having messed... But then, like, oh, maybe I'd record that a little bit. But then part of me is like, why don't you finish Elden... Skyrim first, whether I do it this way or not. Just to complete it, because I was enjoying it for the most part. Another thing going on with this one, I was mentioning in the last video, I mess with different microphones. This is a different microphone today as well. Yesterday's, I think part 9 was a was the SM7B. It's a microphone I've had a lot of difficulty with in the past. Nope, out of stones. I think I managed to get it decent sounding at the end of the day, but the problem is that it takes a lot of post work, if that makes sense.
Greetings, great champion called by grace. I am Fia. Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Roundtable Hold. Great champion, would you allow me to hold you? But briefly, perhaps you might share with me some of your lively vigor and your stout-heartedness. Doing so will grant me the warmth of a champion, and you, I am sure, will bear a Baldakin's blessing. Do you think it vulgar, perhaps? Where I come from, it is a sacred act. Ah, my thanks, great champion.
So this is something I think was misunderstood at first by some players. I don't know if I still understand it. I think what you do is she embraces you.
Ah, very warm.
That's, and then you get this Baldachin's blessing.
What you felt light up inside you was a Baldakin's blessing.
Baldakin's
Though
blessing.
it is but a fleeting thing, I am afraid. Come back to me, should you require another. I will take you in my arms as often as you need.
But I think the idea is it gives you a usable item that you can.
I am pleased. Would you like me to hold you?
I think I'm good for right now.
Would you like to?
So let's.
Say to you.
And it's sort of a trade-off. It reduces hit points or something to get something else. I confess I don't really know what it does. Aside from being bad at crafting, I'm also really bad at using items, even if you don't need to craft them. And so then it's worth exploring because there's some things to pick up. This is going to need a stone sword key. I don't know if I have one. I thought I did. Oh, good. Another stone sword key. I don't know if I have a second one. Again, this is why it's always good to pick them up as you can, just because you never know when and where. Because I know for me, I would forget, to go back. Let's. All right, prayer book. Imagine I can probably hand that to somebody to open up more faith spells. All right. Oh, so I was saying SM7B. Today's the RE20. The trick with the SM7B, and like I was saying, I was able to, I think, get it to sound okay. But it takes, again, it's something I've never been able to master. So it takes some work on my end to get it even close to. The sound I'm going for is not like a broadcasty sound. I'm going for a, and this is a tough thing to track. What does my voice sound like in real life? Just a natural sound. And the SM7B gives me a couple problems. First, I know it's a dark toned microphone, but even so, it has a lack of clarity that feels off. It's like I'm talking through an extra sock instead of the normal sock that you expect. Might buy two just because I burned through. This is going to let you, memory slots, which lets you cast, memorize more spells. The other thing that might be of interest is this. This lets you cast, I think, faith spells. As I mentioned, 2 fingers. This is shaped like 2 fingers. So with the SM7B, I was having, like I said, I think I got it to sound a little more natural. I don't want to say crisp because SM7B is not meant to sound crisp, but there's just when I hear other people saying like, yeah, this is an unprocessed SM7B, I'm like, that sounds a lot clearer, a lot less muddier than what I get just an unprocessed SM7B. So I don't know if it's something with my voice or if I'm doing something wrong. But the goal is to get it to sound as natural as possible without having to process it, because if I were on a stream or something like that, you know, you don't want to, you can't.
I don't believe we've met. I'm known as D.
EQ it after the fact.
I hunt down those who live in death and weed their death root. Heed my warning. Those who live in death should be left well alone. All the more should you spy a mariner among their number, unless you wish to lay down your life in vain.
Okay, so death root is something you can collect, and the person you give it to is behind those closed doors when we jump through the magic teleporter.
Those who live in death, all the more.
Okay, so we've burned through him. Let's talk to this guy.
Ah, hello. You must be new here. Well, just call me Dialos. The honor of one's house holds little import in these lands. By the way, have you met a young woman named Lanya on your travels?
Not
She's my
yet.
servant, but fickle as the wind. Take your eyes off her for but a moment and she's good as gone. If you find her, please be sure to tell me.
So
Be sure to tell me if you meet a young woman named Lanya.
So it was fine because, you know, I record these and I can play around with it after the fact, but in sort of real time, it would make it very tricky. So when I was saying like, you know, oh, you are safe here, but then look at all those blood. How much? I got 75. Good time to do it. So clearly something happens here that causes some problems. Okay, let's see how this goes. Nope, that was a waste. Oh, he's being polite. He's got a bleed weapon, so I gotta be careful with that. It's probably frost. Ooh. Now, usually when you have somebody heal, they usually get one. I'm in bad shape. Oh, that gives him like a bleed boost. Yep, see, he's out. Nope, walked right into that. Forgot to activate the unsheath. So as you can see, it's not like the hardest fight in the world, but that's also because I've been leveling up and, again, over level, over level, over level. Oh yeah, the guy up this hill, that's where the death root goes. So now we can jump back over. And I think this is the bonfire here, so we'll rest and that'll... Let's try it again. Because it's definitely doable, but again, we have been going everywhere but here first. So imagine walking in here at a much lower level. Try this one more time. Obviously, it's doable. All right, that was poor showing. Let me give it one more try. You know, I wonder if I can start this off even dirtier. So as you're seeing, the trick with this fight is it can go very poorly very quickly. See if I can get him to do another jump. And if I can jump, if he jumps, I'll see if I can get him when he's landing. It seems to be a little pause. Of course. Okay. Not that I have any left, but And I think I don't know if there's anything to pick up down here, but you definitely want to explore a little bit. Can't get back up without using the little blue teleporter to return to upstairs, but since I'm here... So anyway, I was saying, SM7B RE20. This is the RE20, and again, the goal is to try and get it to sound the way I want it without processing, just so I have it ready, like if I'm talking to someone in real time. Not that I'm streaming this, but if this was a stream, I wouldn't want to... I guess I could apply the effects and stuff through OBS. I also have a Lewitt Connect 6, which can do EQ, which I'm doing some through here, but I just can never get it to work the way I wanted to with the SM7B, so... I thought I'd try one with the RE20, see how it held up. The earliest ones were all with the Lewitt, the condenser. So, and yeah, let's call it. Maybe there might be a little bit left to explore here. We'll take a look at that next time. But now that we've got this unlocked, we can start, upgrading weapons with +2 and +3, whatever smith stones going forward, and we'll keep it going. All right, take care.